Good afternoon and welcome everybody. I was just trying to type where I am. My name is Daniel and I'm in Melbourne, Australia. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all and so many of you to our special event today. I'm the head of enrolments here at Fourth Rev, working in close collaboration with King's College London. And considering your interest in this topic, you probably already know that product management is one of those rare careers that lets you blend strategy, creativity and problem solving along with leadership. And with AI reshaping the way products are built and launched, it's also a career that's evolving ever so quickly. Whether you're exploring PM for the first time or looking to sharpen your skills for a career move, today's session is designed to give you a practical insight and direction to achieve that. We'll break down the skills that matter. We'll explore how AI is changing the role and show you what steps you can take to become the kind of product manager that companies are actively looking and seeking for. So let's get started. We work in very close collaboration with King's College London, amongst other universities, to deliver the very unique Career Accelerator model. The partnership between King's College London and Fourth Rev brings together the best of university education and industry practices to design and deliver career accelerators. These career-focused online programs equip learners with the deep and varied knowledge, practical skills, and recognition required to unlock tangible results in the job market, be that looking to change careers or even advance your existing career sooner. In the support of goals of career accelerators, events like this one were created and curated by Sam in the background. Thank you, Sam, to inform and inspire potential learners about their field of interest. A couple of things that we'll go through today. And I'd ask that engage. It's about you. You know, this is a session designed for you. So do engage. Let us know where you're from in the chat function. But if you do have any specific questions for the panel upcoming, I'd ask that you use the Q&A function. But what we'll get through today, let's have a look. So we'll start by exploring the current product management landscape, what's changing, where the demand is shifting, and how AI is beginning to influence the role in meaningful ways. We'll then dig into the core skills that define high-impact product managers so you can understand where to focus your learning and how to leverage the experience you already have, be that in any field. From there, we'll zoom in on AI for product managers, showing you how AI is already being used in product workflows, including a live demo that I'm excited about, and how you can begin building fluency. We'll also walk through a typical path into product management with advice on how to navigate career changes, identify your transferable skills, and find your entry point. And finally, we'll share more about the King's Product Management Career Accelerator and how it's designed to equip you with both end-to-end skills and future-ready tools to stand out in a competitive market. But stick around until the end as well. We'll also be revealing a very special early enrolment offer for you, for those that are ready to take the next step. So just a reminder, thank you for so many of you putting in your locations and your names and the like, and it's great to see so many of you here. But also the questions in the Q&A, we'll be using the chat function to provide you with many special offers and links to valuable resources as well. Enough from me, I'd suggest. It gives me great pleasure now, though, to welcome a very, very esteemed panel. Welcome, guys, Elizabeth and Justin. Great to see you both once again. Lizzie, I haven't seen you for a long time. Justin, thank you also. But Lizzie, I'll start with your good self. If you could give us a quick intro.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lizzie. I'm sitting in Cape Town, South Africa at the moment, where it's winter, hence the sweater. I currently am a product owner at Alan and Jill Gray Philanthropies, and I could see in the chat that someone's working on a math app for children. I work on two products, one of which is for high school students based in East Africa. It's called Wavumbuzi, and I'm going to show you a demo later on how I've used two different AI products to basically help me make the app better. Thanks.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lizzie. Justin, welcome.
Hello, I'm Justin. I'm the product manager and subject lead here at Fourth Rev, looking after the King's programs, which includes this program, the product management program, and the product design program. I've worked across the product team in a number of roles for the last decade, including product manager, user researcher and product designer. So happy to be here and share what I've learned so far in terms of AI and what we're doing with the course in terms of AI.
Fantastic. Thank you both. I'm very much looking forward to your insights and answering and having your expertise answer the questions from the audience as we go along. And certainly we'll reserve time at the end for the Q&A that people may have as well. Looking at the product management landscape, as I said, would do off the top. So one of the most common questions people ask when considering a move into product management is now a good time? To answer that question, let's have a quick look at the broader picture. Firstly, it's true that hiring has cooled across a lot of industries in tech, but product management remains a core strategic function, and even more so in business today, especially at companies where product is so pivotal. Obviously, or product is the business, in which there are many. In fact, the demand for senior product managers went up 13% in 2024, and 2 out of 3 hiring managers say they expect conditions to improve or at least stabilize across the remainder of 2025 as well. So what we're seeing is that companies are still hiring, but they're hiring smarter about it. They want PMs that can hit the ground running, have an impact, obviously, communicate cross-functionally, and make product decisions that tie directly to business outcomes. That's the core of our offering, is the linkage between academia and industry. And that brings us to, obviously, the second point. High impact PMs are getting hired. So even in a tighter market, high impact PMs are still being hired and paid appropriately, we might add. Product managers' salaries rose over 7, almost 8% last year, outpacing the UK's average salary growth. But the key word here is impact. Companies aren't just looking for tenure or job titles, they're prioritising people who can show how they've delivered value. And that's where AI comes in. AI is as a differentiator. AI has quickly become one of the sharpest differentiators in the market in 2024. And you can imagine what's happened in the 6 months since. Job posts mentioning AI were up 61%. And it's not just working about working at AI-led companies. It's about using AI as a tool to make better product decisions faster. We're seeing a shift towards PMs who can use Gen AI to generate insights from customer data, speed up decision-making, obviously, and personalise experiences in a way that weren't possible before, and at a speed at which that can occur. These are PMs being seen as strategic assets, not just operators. And here's the thing, most PMs can't do that yet. So if you build that skill set, you're already ahead, whether you're looking to transition into product or certainly progress your current product career. So yes, the job market has shifted, but for those with the right blend of strategic thinking, core PM skills and AI fluency, it's arguably a better time than ever to make your move and have that competitive advantage. Again, enough from me though. A question for Lizzie. What's your perspective on the current job market, and are there opportunities for aspiring PMs for the right skill with the right skill set?
Thanks, DC. So something that I can speak to as a non-technical product owner, which maybe some of you all are in that same boat. Do not dismiss your current experiences or your past experiences. People are very quick to do that, to think, oh, I want to be a PM or a PO and I don't have any experience. I can guarantee you that's not true. Most of what you've done can be relevant. It's about the lens and how you make it relevant. So in my experience, I had quite a lot of years in ed tech. So I didn't go in looking for PO, product owner, or PM roles in e-commerce. One, I'm not interested in e-commerce, but I don't know anything about e-commerce, but I know a lot about ed tech. So I started looking for product-related roles in and around ed tech. That could be anything from like programs where I am now to apps to learning management systems, what have you, because I knew it wasn't just the skills and experience, but I had a lot of knowledge in that area. So I think that's really key, is to not dismiss what you're doing now or what you've done in the past into getting a role in product, because there are a ton of transferable skills. And oftentimes people get hung up on the more technical roles and technical skills. That is a certain type of product manager and product owner, but there's a whole host of other roles in product as well.
a really, really salient point. And, you know, we've been running the program for a number of years now, and the diversity in which our students come from and the transferable skills, as you correctly mentioned, that they bring, have seen amazing outcomes. I mean, from software engineers all the way through to teachers that actually realise that they're managing stakeholders the whole way through class arrangements and plans and the like, and they've transferred very, very successfully into product. That shouldn't be discounted, as you said. I think it's most important. On to the next slide, if we can. So we talk about the core skill areas of high impact product managers. When we talk about becoming a high impact product manager, what do we actually mean though? It's not just about managing tickets or running stand-ups. It's about mastering a few core skills that allow you to take a product from an idea to an impact and a business outcome often as well. So here are 4 key skills worth highlighting. First up, product strategy and market insight. This is where everything starts. High impact PMs know how to spot good opportunities, not just features to build, but actual market needs. They know how to align product decisions with business goals and frame a clear strategic direction. This means understanding your users, but also the broader competitive landscape, the business case behind what you're building, and how to rally your stakeholders behind your vision and that of the company. The second area, user-centric design and prototyping. This is about building the right thing, not just building it right. So high impact PMs know how to frame the right problems, develop user personas, prototype quickly and adapt, and validate with real users before investing in the full development cycle and process. You don't need to be a designer, but understanding the principles of design thinking, basic wireframing and usability testing will help you work more efficiently and effectively with design teams and advocate for users at every step. Third, product execution and go-to-market. This is where strategy turns into delivery. You need to be able to plan a roadmap, prioritize a backlog, coordinate cross-functional teams, and get your product into the hands of users. And then just as importantly, learn from the results and iterate accordingly. That includes go-to-market strategy, product analysis, and analytics, and continuous improvement. And finally, stakeholder communications and influence is a high impact skill set of a PM. This might be the most underrated skill set of all, in my opinion and the panel's opinion, but the best PMs don't just have great ideas, they know how to bring others along with them. That means understanding your stakeholders, tailoring your message to different audiences, and being able to clearly present and pitch your product ideas, both externally, but most importantly, internally. Often you're leading without formal authority, which can sometimes be a challenge in itself. So your ability to build trust and drive alignment becomes your superpower. I love that word. It is a superpower for PMs. Developing confidence across these areas will help you stand out as a PM. Not only confidence, but your ability to articulate that skill that you have is going to help you stand out as well. For Justin, though, you're a key part of the design and delivery of the King's Product Management Career Accelerator. In the roles of a product manager, subject matter expert, and also facilitator, which skills do you believe can really help product managers stand out?
Yeah, I think even more so than the skills that you've shown here is like really emphasizing the importance of the high impact quality that you need to have as a product manager. And I think some of you may have heard this term of results driven product management, or like results driven, it can be applied to any role. So you can demonstrate your knowledge in that area, but it's about, if you're a results driven product manager, it means you understand the company and the product strategy, but then you're also really sharp on execution. So all these things on the screen here that Daniel is mentioning, like you can execute on those. And when it comes to your day-to-day work, it's very clear that you are a high-performing team member. So I think what's really important is to emphasize this, what I would call results-driven product management, or results-driven in any role where you're at. So if you're not results-driven, you lose control, you make substandard decisions, you cut corners, and product management, you'll block teams. So if you're not results driven, you might be blocking other team from finishing some work. And the way you manage this is like having very clear frameworks, which I think you can discuss and demonstrate in applications. And I think I'm going to talk about 2 different types of frameworks, because we're talking about AI here. So first you have your kind of framework of self. So that's like productivity frameworks, say like the 80-20 rule, where you put 20% of your effort to receiving 80% of the results, and demonstrating this to others is important. Then you have your tools that you use to enhance your productivity. And this is where I think AI can play a massive role. And if you're not using it to support your day-to-day task, you will fall behind, not just stand out by using it. So like, for example, I'm sure Lizzie's done this, if she's putting together like a product requirements document or something similar for the roadmap, use ChatGPT or someone to create that first draft. Like all of a sudden you're working like 3 times as fast as before. And of course, it's not just about demonstrating how you use the AI tools, but why you're using it, why it's making you better at your decisions. I think that will help you stand out. You also have, of course, AI literacy is going to make you stand out if we're talking from an AI aspect. So understanding how AI and LLMs actually work, knowing how to evaluate and integrate them in your product, kind of like, Lizzie mentioned, you don't need to be technical about it, but you need a high level grasp of like the concepts around how AI and LLMs work. And like being AI literate is going to give you that leg up, and demonstrate that you're not just knowledgeable about AI, but you're also like forward thinking and in tool savvy. Um, I don't know, Daniel, did you want me to talk more on like
No,
AI skills?
let's dive into that actually on the next slide as well, because that's the whole reason for the webinar as well. We've painted the landscape. We've looked at the key skills that will have people contributing a high impact, and for the audience benefit, a high likelihood of career outcome, obviously. But the key differentiator, as you've already mentioned, is AI fluency. So now if we look at and highlight the skill that you've mentioned, that's rapidly becoming that key differentiator. It is AI. And to be clear, we're not talking about becoming a machine learning engineer. But as you've just said, we're talking about knowing enough to be confidently evaluating, using and integrating AI in product work. That starts with understanding the basics, understanding what LLMs are, or large language models are, and how they work, but then where they're limited. I think that's the key human element that is required. You don't need to be the back end drafting them or coding them, but certainly understanding how they work. But it quickly becomes more practical, how to design prompts that actually get a useful output, how to use AI to accelerate research and prioritization, and how to use and integrate AI features into your own product roadmap. I guess also, as AI continues to evolve, those who can think critically about it and communicate clearly about it will be seen as thought leaders, not just tool users. And I think there's a big difference. I've got some questions for the panel to follow that. Is there anything you wanted to add on to that slide first, or we will move on to how, I guess, we're using AI in the product land?
I think the one thing I would just add that's kind of ironic about AI, because it's such a like tech-driven feature, is that actually the soft skills are becoming even more important with AI, because you still need that product manager to make business decisions and have context. So like being able to like communicate and work as a leader and being adaptable, I think that kind of stuff is actually becoming more important as some of the like kind of day-to-day tasks are picked up by AI. And we know that we don't just want to trust AI to do everything for us or make huge business decisions. So being able to work with stakeholders, that kind of stuff is becoming even more important, I would say, as AI grows.
And the ethics behind it as well. You're exactly right. There was a story, not so much product related, more AI marketing. I guess it is a product in that regard, out of California a little while ago, where they prompted to hyper focus on successful enrollments for a university. And day one of semester one came up, and there was zero diversity in the cohort for the first time ever. It had zeroed in on the two rich neighbouring postcodes and learners that came from those areas. So there needs to be, as you said, not only that oversight, but the ethical understanding as well. In terms of one of the things that can make AI feel overwhelming for some is that it's talked about as this huge abstract shift. But in product management, AI is already showing up in very real and very useful ways across almost every stage of the workflow. Let's talk about a few examples and feel free to jump in on any of them. But user research is obviously a big one. Tools like Otter and Dovetail can now transcribe user interviews, extract themes, and even help build personas, cutting hours of manual work down to minutes. When it comes to road mapping, AI can analyze customer feedback or usage patterns and suggest where to focus next, efficiently and effectively. Platforms like Product Board are starting to include forecasting tools that can help you plan more confidently. Then there's obviously documentation. We've seen a lot of this already, but tools like ChatPRD, for example, is one that can draft product requirements based on a simple prompt or outline. You still need to edit and be that human element, but the blank page problem is gone, as you said, Justin. Starting with a blank page is often the most inefficient thing, but that's gone. Communication is another area that's getting faster. Fireflies and Notion AI can summarize meetings, draft stakeholder updates, get those out much sooner, obviously, for follow-up and action items, and help make sure nothing falls through the cracks, even in busy cross-functional teams that PMs are exposed and often manage. In prototyping, tools like Galileo and Bolt, which I know we're going to hear more about, can generate designs from a prompt or a sketch, allowing teams to test and iterate much earlier. And in product performance, AI tools can now detect unusual patterns in user behavior and forecast trends before they become urgent problems, which is an amazing tool and opportunity. So the big takeaway here is that AI is powerful. Isn't just that it's powerful, it's that it's already in use in many, many ways, and to harness that and to understand that is key. Most of these tools are available today, and the PMs that learn to work with them can not only save time and uncover insights faster, and move from being reactive to proactive and add value and demonstrate that to an employer. Let's get into the panel here for this important subject of today's webinar as well. Lizzie, of one of the tools you use regularly, I guess of one of the AI tools that you use regularly, which one has made the biggest impact on your day-to-day as a PO and how?
Lately, in terms of day-to-day, it's what I've been working on our roadmap. It's one of my main priorities in terms of revising and optimizing, as we like to say, our user registration flow. I've been using Bolt a lot to check the flow, rapidly prototype it, speak with the devs about the flow, what can be done and whatnot. And that I really can't emphasize how much that has saved us so much time and money, frankly. And it's pretty amazing in terms of being able to generate, yes, it's a high fidelity prototype, but it's also mapped to exactly what we want. And before it would just take much longer. So as a team, we've been using Bolt for this, but also other pieces of work. Before the call started, I was talking about, we have a AI proof of concept for a moderation tool to moderate submissions that learners submit. And we've been able to move quite quickly in terms of having this proof of concept ready to go. And the front end of it we were able to develop it super quickly because we use Bolt. And it's not what I call a ghost prototype, where it's just a clickable prototype, but nothing's happening behind. No, it's an actual, it's functional. Our dev was able to use code because you can put in what you use for your back end, what you use for your front end. And then, like Justin said, you keep a human in the loop because it doesn't always get things right. But we've been able to move so quickly in terms of getting entire small products built and out as a proof of concept. I mean, cut the time in half. So that has been top of mind recently. Bolt, Vercel is another competitor, similar. Maybe some of you all have heard of Lovable. They're all very similar in what they do. I think it just comes down to personal and team preference.
Good examples. Thank you, Lizzie. And just a reminder for the audience, we've got a demonstration coming up next. But if you've got any questions for the panel, please pop them in the Q&A and we'll reserve time. Or if they're relevant to one of the slides that we're going through, we'll answer them at that point in time. True. Anything to add there, Justin?
No, that's all right.
Done. Let's move on. Let's have a look at Bolt. Lizzie, I'm going to hand over to you now to give us a live demo of how to create a rapid prototype using AI tools. I'm most excited for this.
Great, thanks, DC. So before I start sharing my screen and get into it, I'm going to give you all, I'm just going to set the scene very quickly. So one of the products I work on is called Wavumbuzi. And it's, let's call it a gamified platform that is available right now in Rwanda and Kenya, hoping to expand into Ethiopia and then South Africa this year, where essentially we are showing examples to learners of what successful entrepreneurship looks like, and we measure self-reported competency development. So those are outcomes we look at, and engagement is our North Star, and we're very clear about what engagement means for us on the platform. So Kenya, we have 2 more weeks left in the Kenya challenge. It's a 6-week challenge. Rwanda finished in Feb or March. So feedback we've gotten is that new users, new students are confused at certain points in the registration flow for new users. So we've gotten that directly from students. We've gotten it from our school liaison officers. So I've taken all of that, definitely use ChatGPT to help with themes, check it. Okay, great. So then I go in, I do an audit of the new user registration flow, and I map that. I create a very simple diagram in Miro of that, right? So I've done all that work. And so then what I go in, I will start sharing my screen now. Give me a second. So you should see a ChatGPT interface, yeah? Justin, can you thumbs up? Okay, thumbs up. Thank you, whoever did that. So I'm just going to show you just a quick and dirty prompt. Is this the best prompt? No, it's not, but it's okay. Let's just go with it. So this is the prompt I'm using. And I'm also going to paste in a screenshot of my Miro user board, and always say please, just in case. You never know. All right, so we are going to, it's going to give us this prompt. And you always go through whatever any AI tool gives you. Don't just copy and paste, please. It helps if you're the subject matter expert of whatever you're doing. Then when it hallucinates or just get things wrong, that's what it is, you can see it. So always go through and I check to make sure that it's getting the fonts right, it's getting the hex codes, the colors correct, it's getting the actual flow correct, right? So always check, please. So then I simply do this guy, go down, great. All right, so I'm going to copy that. I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and then I'm going to share with you all the Bolt screen. Okay. Cool, I'm going to bring it over. Oh. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, can we see Bolt? It's a black screen. Yes, fantastic. All right, so then I'm simply going to do this. I'm going to copy and paste that in. And so this will take time depending upon what you're asking it to do. The more detailed and complex, the longer it can take. It also depends on where you are in your internet. But you can see here, you can toggle between the code and the preview, which is helpful if you are a technical person and or if you are working with your software development team, that you can actually go through this together. You can also here give them links, right? You can change the visibility, and I often include, when I'm using this, I will include a link to the Bolt site in the Jira ticket, for example, so that the dev can go through the prototype themselves, even though we've been through it before, and also go through the code. So it'll take time, but I promise a preview, the prototype will show up, but you can kind of see as it's going on the left-hand screen there, what's happening, right? And it's telling you exactly what's going on. Just to note that this is a paid version of Bolt. You can get a free version, but basically you run out of tokens very quickly, tokens being basically your credits to be able to use it. So you can go, and that's basically the same, I think, for most of these. Vercel was the same. I haven't used Lovable yet. I'm imagining it's the same. They give you enough just to kind of get you in. and then say, oh, I'm sorry, you've run out of tokens. Would you like to subscribe? I also use a paid version of ChatGPT as well. Our company will pay for it, so that's also quite nice. If that's open to you. If it's not, if it's something that you're interested in getting into in terms of product, it may be worth a free subscription. So, I mean, a paid subscription so that you can start building things and showing, I don't know, showing people what you can do. And then here you can see, this is sort of, yeah, this is who I am, and it'll show you kind of at your chats will come up here. So you can always access it. So as you can see, this can take some time. I've asked it to do a lot. And today, but my internet has been a bit slow. So yes. Has anyone here used Bolt? Thumbs up if you've used Bolt before, or Vercel or Lovable. Anyone? Amazing.
Couple
Okay.
thumbs up there. The other question I've got to the audience, whilst it's going through the prompts there, in the chat function, not the Q&A, don't forget to pop your questions in the Q&A. Can you just put one word in either that you're looking to change careers into PM or advance your existing career in PM? If you could put change or advance, it'll help us, especially with the upcoming content, to tailor it around the majority of the audience. I'll hand back to you, Lizzie.
Cool. So when it's done, you can see it will tell you a summation of what it's done, right? Okay, just moving this over. So start demo, great. This is good already. I know that this is correct. After the account's been created, we need to go to the challenge world because that's what logs the user in, and that's important for us. And I've asked it to join the school. Let's do Nairobi STEM. Sorry, I'm just going to switch over. Can you still see Bolt?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, Nairobi STEM, I'm going to send the join request sent. Great. Continue. So it's asking you in this demo, which do you want to simulate? Simulate success or simulate failure? Let's just say success. Cool. Now here's the survey. I'm into science. I heard about you from a friend or school. Continue, prepare, complete, and then the user tour, yes, should launch. So it's gotten the flow right, which is what I wanted, right? And so what I also want to show you, so that's what I get from that, frankly, not great prompt plus a screenshot. Okay. Now I'm going to show you what we were working on as a team. So just give it a minute. Oh, here we go. So it's importing it back now so we can see it. Just give a second, just so you can get a sense of, you know, when you actually do it and do it properly, what you can get. And it should appear here. So you can imagine for us to do this rapid prototyping and to work as a team, this is taking minutes. So we can iterate quickly. We can find faults in the flow. The devs can say, actually, you need to, for example, this happened, that go to challenge world button, we've got to move that up to the top because on the back end, that logs iteration first login, which is key for how we count registration, which is ultimately key for how we count engagement. So we need that to happen at a certain sequence. So after account is created, this is the money button. This is not real money. This is important rather for us. This needs to happen. Join request, district. I don't know why it's showing up like this, but it's fine. We can fix that. Next, choose a school, Eastern Primary, send request, continue to verification. So either I click the link, it checks, nope, let's enter a code, great. It's telling them when to get the code, where to get the code from your teacher. And then again, now we've gone to the survey And after the survey, the user modal, either the student submits a survey or skips it, and the user tour launches. So what's nice about this, we're going to make changes to this and use this for user testing next week with about 10 learners in Kenya and 10 students in Rwanda. We give them the link and then either run a very short little session, debrief session, plus a very short Google form with them. Done. And for us, you know, we're a team of 5 on the systems team. So that for us, like this is huge to be able to do this so quickly, and then to be able to take this and put it in Angular and Ionic, which is the tech stack we use, and then be able to implement very quickly, is pretty much a game changer for us. So I use it to just, as I'm going through doing my user registration audit, help redesigning the learner profile based on user feedback, just to get a sense of how things could look, what it could look like. Sometimes I don't even share that with the team. I just do it for myself to get a sense of, okay, based on best practices, what could this be? And that, to me, I wasn't able to do that 6 months ago that quickly. And that's helped me a lot. So that was a very whirlwind tour of ChatGPT and Bolt, both paid versions. Like I said, Vercel or Lovable are very similar to Bolt. I think it, again, comes down to preference.
Someone wanted to see your Miro board that you added. I don't know if it's possible.
Okay, I'll show you. I'm laughing because I'll show you this clean version, and then I'll show you the scary version of where I dump all my ideas. Okay, here we go. So this is just the new user registration flow. I don't get bogged down. Is it the right shape and this, that, and the other? I just need to get it down. Okay. Now I'm going to show you. Whew, all right, get ready, folks, because this one's so ugly, but here we go. So this is basically my sandbox. Look at that. It's so overwhelming, but I can understand it and it helps me a lot. So I start here, 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 and eventually for one use case, I get to here. And I did use ChatGPT and Bolt to help me get here. So it went a lot quicker than it did before. But yeah, this is like how it started, how it's going. That's basically this. How it started and then how it's going.
Brilliant. Thank you. I love that. And it's a great process that you've demonstrated both with the Miro, actually. I think that's really valuable to see the thought process behind just getting it down first, but then refining thereafter and using the tools in which to do so. Well done, Lizzie. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I can't imagine how long that would have taken without that tool previously. So, moving on, and we've got a couple of things to get through. And just a reminder for everyone, pop your questions in the Q&A, and we've got a special offer coming up also. So, your pathway to product management or your pathway to advancement, because I noticed there were a considerable amount of career advances in the audience as well. We'll take a step back and talk about the bigger picture about the pathway. So a typical progression into a career might be to go from somewhat of a entry-level or more entry-level role to product manager, senior PM, and eventually into leadership roles like a director, VP, or even chief product officer in the future. But everyone starts from somewhere different. And often the key to moving forward is simply understanding what skills you already have and where you need to grow. So here's what we recommend. First, identify and solidify your core PM skills. Think about the skill areas we covered earlier, like strategy, stakeholder influence, user empathy, go-to-market execution, and build strength in each of those areas. Lean into what you already bring. Secondly, so you might already be in product or come from marketing, UX, engineering, customer success, or project management is common. All of those backgrounds and many more have skills that translate directly into product work. Third, start building your AI fluency. We've covered this already, but it's worth repeating. Integrating AI tools into your day-to-day workflow is one of the smartest ways to future-proof your skill set, but also demonstrate you're ahead of the game, as we mentioned at the commencement of the session, to potential employers as well. Engage in structured training. There's a litany. I think my algorithms are obviously biased towards these sorts of programs because I'm interested and I did work in it, but there's a litany of fast to market AI probably produced programs that I don't feel offer the rigor that employers expect. So be cautious, but structured training. So you could try and piece it together yourself through those types of sugar hit programs. But if you want confidence across the full PM toolkit, programs like the one we offer and the one we're talking about offer a clear guided path with also the academic rigor and the industry input into the content design that employers have had and said they need and want. So you're going to be in that area of demand. And finally, don't do it alone. Mentorship, community, and career coaching all make a difference when it comes to staying motivated and navigating the job market with confidence. And the beauty about PMs is they love talking to each other. It's easy to find networks. It is easy. I mean, there's even one of our learners was involved in, or even may have started in the UK. I think it's called Product and Pints. So obviously they combine their two passions and they have a pint and a discussion around the product. I think it's brilliant. Many of our, Lizzie, for you though, and Justin, many of our attendees are thinking about changing careers. What advice would you give someone coming from a non-product background who wants to break into a PM role?
So I suppose it goes back to what I originally said. I would be one, don't dismiss the skills you currently have and all of your experience and knowledge getting you to this place. And I would be quite choosy about looking at not just the role, but the organization or company that you're applying for and what you are getting yourself into. So my first product owner role was actually at Fourth Rev, and that was an easy transition from learning design into that, right? And then my next was at Allen and Gilgrave Philanthropies here. It's not a very it's not a super tech corporate environment, because I knew that was not what I needed at this point in my career, and maybe ever. That's not maybe ever where I want to go. So I think, and I know it can be very daunting now, especially on LinkedIn sometimes. LinkedIn, it can be a blessing and a curse. You can start to feel like you're behind, or that I don't know, that you don't have the skills. So just take a step back. What I did was started looking at the types of organizations I wanted to work for and roles within those organizations, even if I wasn't going to apply for it, just to get a sense of what they're looking for. And you'll find that you will be able to tick off more boxes than you think you will. And then those that you can't, you make a plan and say, okay, if it's, for example, generative AI, there are things I can do to both paid and unpaid to beef up my knowledge and skills in that area. And let's do that. So don't spray and pray. That approach is going to be incredibly frustrating and demoralizing. Be very conscious about what you're bringing to the role and to the organization you're going into.
Great point. I'm going to ask Justin a question, but I'm going to ask Sam to come to the next slide, because I guess this is where the Product Management Career Accelerator comes in. We've developed that in true collaboration with industry and King's to not only give you the academic rigor that is so valued, but ensuring that it's a practical approach to learning that employers value. It's one thing to learn the product skills, but having the ability to demonstrate that to employers around impact, as we mentioned earlier, is key. So it's a 6-month program that will enable you to go through the 3 courses that are listed there: product management and strategy, product design and development, and launching products to market. It's then followed, and throughout that, there's no exams. It's most important that I get that across. Even though it is a postgraduate level qualification that I'll touch on in a moment as well. The Career Accelerator is a certification, and there is a postgraduate qualification component if you choose to take that on. So it's rigorous, but it's practical. There are no exams. Instead, you all throughout the program submit projects and assignments that help you build that portfolio as well. So it's 6 months online, completely online. and is designed to fit in with you more so than you fit in with university. It's backed also with the AI learning track that I'm going to ask Justin about in a moment. But what I did say a moment ago was don't do it alone. And I think that's a really good point, because the Career Accelerator, one of the unique features of it is also the career coaching that comes with the Career Accelerator. This is not, for choice of a better word, a HR, for choice of a better example, a HR graduate talking to you about your resume. This is an executive career coach you'll meet with one-on-one both during the program, and then we've extended that to another 6 months beyond the program, because we found and listened to our learners who said, oh, I focused on the learning for the first 6 months, and then I want to start applying for jobs thereafter, and that's when the coaching is of most value. So within the program, there's up to 12 months of that one-on-one career coaching. You developing the skills in consultation with your coach that will help you succeed in not only executing on a strategy to achieve your next role or make your career transition, but your skills you'll use for your progression of your career forevermore as well. In addition to that, there's an AI learning track, which is most important, a feature that makes the program stand out. I want to hand over to Justin here to give us a quick breakdown of what the AI learning track covers. Thanks, Justin.
Yep, sure, no problem. So the AI learning track is meant to obviously supplement our core product management teachings, which you just talked about, and stay up to date with the latest trends in AI. So we update that. We've been updating it annually. We've been running it now for well over a year. And so I'll talk about the actual outline of the learning track in a moment, but for the rest of the course, as you go through all the topics you're learning, every week our facilitators, who are experienced product managers working in the field as they teach, they hold sessions every week where they share their industry expertise and on-the-job tips. And obviously, this includes how they're using AI and giving practical advice on that. So there is the separate learning track, which I'm about to go over, but then almost every week that someone is either asking a question or the facilitator is already teaching their experience and how they're leveraging AI to support the topic that you're learning that week. So you really get it throughout the whole program. In terms of the learning track, there are 4 main masterclasses built with myself in coordination with 2 great experts in the field. So one, Gerald Tan, has worked particularly in the gaming industry for a long time. He's sold one of his own gaming companies. He splits his time between chief product ownership and consulting other startups in product management space. And so he manages quite a few teams and mentors people, and his focus is really on using AI to improve productivity, creativity, quality within the product management role. And then the other half of our masterclass was built with Alexander Cohen, who has his own AI company and is really that expert in terms of AI technology and can teach a lot about how to manage and integrate AI first products or products that are joining AI. So to give you a quick overview, there are 4 key masterclasses that we teach. First, we give an intro to AI for product managers. So, what within AI is relevant for product managers, and then also teaching the foundational concepts like how does a large language model work? What are tokens and neural networks, and giving you that truly literate understanding that a product manager needs to have about AI. Then we move on to using AI to improve your productivity, led by Gerald. And so this focuses a lot on stuff that I talked about, how you can use AI, like what Lizzie is doing, for example, to create her prototype. That's about leveraging AI to improve the process, work faster, get good quality as a product manager. So we have a masterclass on that with practical examples throughout the courses that you learn. So they'll whip out the tools. They'll show you how they write the prompts. So we give prompt guidance as well. And then we dig into the third masterclass, which is knowing when and how to integrate AI into your products. This is where we get relatively technical, but how to introduce AI into your product, how it differs from traditional coding, how what's the costing of it, the pricing, all the things you need to consider as a product manager before you bring in AI into your product or before you launch an AI first product. And then the final masterclass is about how do you continue your learning and become an expert in AI as a product manager, and ultimately with that goal of becoming a thought leader in your space. So it's really a 4-part program that supplements what we already teach to kind of take you to the next level and prepare you for either a job as an AI product manager, like to start, or to just go into a job comfortable that you can use AI to work faster, work better. Yeah. And so
That's great,
I should
Justin.
mention, we are hosting that last one next week. It's open to our leads on June 12th at 12 p.m. I think Sam has just posted in the chat. So we will have our final masterclass of the series for the first half of the year on building expertise and ultimately becoming a thought leader in AI for product management.
Brilliant. Thank you, Justin. And there is a question that's come through that's relevant to this specific topic before I move on, and certainly before I get to the other questions. Anulf has mentioned, it sounds like the AI part has been strapped on the existing course, or is it integrated? And it's a good question, because we did look at this strategically. And whilst our students are using AI tools all throughout the program, changing the curriculum in an environment that is changing so quickly would mean that it may become outdated so quickly. The strategic approach we've taken to not only embed AI tools within the learning, but also these masterclasses ensure they're up to the minute, up to date. Is that a fair assumption, Justin, or anything to add?
Yeah, we started with the masterclasses because it is updating so fast, and we have come to the conclusion that about once a year is an appropriate time to update. I mean, we're always updating our course constantly with new stuff, but with AI, it moves even faster. But we are actually looking at taking the masterclasses and incorporating that as an additional learning module in the course. But I wouldn't say it's like new material. It's just changing the medium and format through which the product comes through. But we find it's better to support the current fundamental learnings with like how you can use AI to support your work. So yeah, some people use AI. King's has a very flexible and modern AI policy. People are using AI to support some of their project work that they're doing. Yeah, it is integrated, but we have the content separate so we can make sure it's up to date.
Exactly. Thank you kindly. I've got a couple of things to run through and some questions as well, just to round off the discussion regarding the Career Accelerator as well. For those of you that aren't aware, it's as I said before, it's 6 months online, about 15 hours a week. There is live sessions as a part of that, and then there's a majority is asynchronous, meaning it does fit in with you rather than you fit in with the university timetable. And then there is a postgraduate certificate capstone project available after successful completion of the Career Accelerator as well. The price is £6,295, including that 12 months of one-on-one career coaching that would, I guess, be worth a number of £1,000. I'm not sure. And you do have payment options. There is a fee reduction of £500 available if you pay up front, or we have monthly interest-free payment plans. The best thing that you can do is speak to your enrolment advisor if you haven't. The entry criteria is that you have completed an undergraduate degree or have 2 years plus of relevant work experience if you haven't completed a bachelor degree. The upcoming intake commences on the 14th of July. And as an attendee today, I'm most pleased to advise that we're offering special access to this benefit, the Product Advantage pack, where you'll access, if you do apply for the Career Accelerator early, as in before the 27th of June, but these spaces are limited and expected to sell out. So there's a package available in excess of £1,000 that consists of a live interview preparation lab. So using the same case format that big tech companies like Google and Meta use, these live case interviews, you'll be asked to think on the spot as a product manager. So for example, you might be asked, how would you improve Google Maps for a rollout in India, for example, where there's different transport challenges? From there, you need to walk through your product thinking, how you'd approach the problem, what data you'd use, and what trade-offs you'd consider, how you'd communicate with your solution. And so it's a preparation lab in that regard. There's also a closed-door Q&A session with a product coach and a specialist recruiter to give you direct insights into what employers are currently looking for in product candidates. And lastly, early access to alumni networking, so you can start building your product network as soon as the program starts. As I said, there's a limited amount of these spots available. It will be on a first come, first served basis, and you'll need to complete your application soon or as quickly as you can to ensure that you obtain one of those additional benefits on top of what is already packed full of benefit as well. A couple of questions to get through. And thank you everyone for sticking around as well. Someone's asked here, from your experience, what helped you grow as a product manager, especially in an AI influenced environment? I guess that's Lizzie, if you could answer that one.
Yeah, I think you have to experiment, and you just have to learn. So there's plenty of resources, both paid and otherwise, reading up on things. It's how I got to Bolt and Vercel. So I don't think there's a limit really. There's a lot you can do on your own. I think you just have to be curious and you have to experiment. And even if it's not in a professional capacity, AI can do a lot for you personally in terms of admin and this, that, and the other, and just play around with it. Just do it. I mean, that really is my only advice. Just do it. Don't kind of think about it. I don't know. The only way to get better is to get in there and
Well,
try.
spot on. Couldn't agree more. I've got one more before you have to go. And if anyone else has questions, I can stick around for a little bit longer. But can you share your experience or an example of how AI can be used to define go-to-market strategy and execution of product to market, as this is more related to non-technical skills?
Yes. So with Wavambuzi, as I mentioned, we currently run in 2 countries, right? And so we have an implementation team, we have a marketing and comms team, and we do activations and training and this and that. So we have a very strong research unit and we use Power BI. But I took some of the data from this year, from Rwanda that just finished, and trying to look at registration and engagement patterns by districts. I think it's districts in Rwanda and regions in Kenya, although I may have gotten that mixed up. To get a sense of, we had some assumptions about district and school size. In terms of we're a small team, where we should put most of our efforts. And we were able to get some very nice insights in terms of in terms of what was driving the foundation of our engagement were maybe 50 or so very large schools, which is very important in terms of when you're trying to figure out, okay, where do we put our resources for activation prior to the launch of the challenge each year and during. So again, there are humans in the loop because we are the experts on Wavambuzi. So we're not just putting something into to an AI tool, it spits something out and we copy and paste that and say that's our go-to-market strategy. For us, it really did help. It helped me take a lot of data and basically crunch it and find a really important insight for us is actually, if you really want to narrow down on engagement, this should be your focus, and this is how you could potentially do that. And then we went in and said, okay, yes, but no, and here's why. This is the context the tool doesn't have. So that's how we've used it in a go-to-market capacity.
Love it. Thank you. And well timed. You've got to go. Lizzie, it's been an absolute pleasure. Great to see you again. Thank you from all of the audience. I'm sure your insights have been amazing. And we look forward to witnessing not only the growth of your product and success, but having you as a guest again soon, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, everybody.
Another couple of quick questions to go. Someone's asked, how would we demonstrate our AI fluency on our CVs if we haven't worked on an AI product? Would this be added to the skill section? You don't have to work on, well, Justin can add to this if you'd like, but you don't have to work on an AI related product to demonstrate your AI skills. It's the use of AI in any product along the way that we've demonstrated today that's of the most value. I would suggest punch that question into ChatGPT and see what it says, because it's not about working on an AI related product necessarily. It's about using the AI tools in the processes behind the any product that you work on for efficiency and the other reasons that we've demonstrated today. Anything else there, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I will add, just in case they are asking about working as a product manager specifically for an AI product or something that uses that. I think first it's important to remember that the AI itself is not like the most important thing as the product manager for that role. AI is just one feature, one technology that's being used across a larger tech stack, across a larger strategy. Now, some are obviously a lot more AI essential and AI first products than others, while a lot of other people are more integrating AI into their existing products. So I think a couple ways you could demonstrate this is like a course, whether it's free or paid. So in our case, it could be the AI learning track that comes with our program, for example, that demonstrates that you are building knowledge in AI and how it works. And then if you really want to manage an AI product, maybe you do an even bigger deep dive course on the technical aspects of AI, like a free course online or something like that. And then I always say this in a lot of my panels and mentorship advice is like, you need to be able to talk the talk. Because like we all talk about walk the walk, but you're going to be doing interviews, you're going to be speaking to people. You need to you need to be comfortable talking about these topics. So you should be like clear either through like your LinkedIn activities and your coursework that you're doing that you are passionate about AI and you have an understanding of how it works. They want to be able to tell very quickly in an interview whether you know what you're talking about when it comes to that. So I think educate yourself in that respect. If you're completely knowledgeless and you don't sign up for a program, or even if you do, then get a mentor that works as an AI for product manager in AI. Why it could be worth paying them for that because it's going to help you get to that role faster. So I think that's probably what I do is like build your knowledge and demonstrate that that passion and that knowledge in your particularly in your interviews, in your LinkedIn cover letter. The one other thing I would add is if you are able to integrate AI into your current workplace in any way, preferably as part of the offering that customers see, um, then make sure that's on your CV and you're demonstrating that you led that initiative and shows um, your drive to work with AI.
It's a good point. And having, as a part of the Career Accelerator, a career coach helping you position those transferable and new skills for be it web scraping, be it employer attraction, be it recruitment companies and the like, and then also strategizing how to communicate that, as Justin just said, in interviews as well, is part of the offer that the career and the skill set that the career coaches bring to that. Anulf has also asked, understand the program is fully online, but are there any possibilities to visit the campus and get a bit of that student feeling? Yes and no. Yes, there is, because if you elect to undertake the postgraduate certificate after the Career Accelerator, your alumni status at King's, all those sorts of things that come with that as a fully fledged level 7 qualification from King's. One of the only product management level 7 qualifications in the world, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's one in Australia and maybe one in America. And also there's organic student meetups and the like as well. So we foster a really strong sense of community amongst your peers, many of whom are in the same meeting as you today, hopefully. And we really work hard in being online, being apart, but feeling together as a cohort. And that will also culminate in a visit to King's for the graduation celebration as well. But there are organic ways in which students organise meetups, swap ideas, share different success stories and the like. The career coaches also innovate how they and the offerings in which the careers coaching is delivered. So yes, there's one-on-one career coaching specific to you and you alone, but to motivate and to, I guess, value the peer group learning that can be transferable, which you probably go through in the cafeteria at university, over a coffee or whatever, to replicate that in a way, but even take it further. They've introduced also what we call career sprints. This might be a dozen of you learners in an online meeting, listening to each other's experiences and learning from their experiences. So you might have had an interview that you felt you went really well with this aspect. I didn't sort of feel that I got across my AI capabilities well enough, and I'm going to go away and work on that. It could be that someone's had challenges with networking and they've developed a way in which to reach out to other product managers, senior product owners and the like on LinkedIn, and they've had a success to share with the group around that. But what they always have is concrete outcomes. So you go to these career sprints and they're voluntary. You go to these career sprints knowing that you're going to share learnings, but you're also going to take concrete takeaways. I am going to do this before our next meeting, and you come back and bring the results. That shared learning approach is invaluable and has helped out so many of our learners obtain their intended career outcomes. So yes, Anulf, you can. And the postgraduate certificate, I'll just finish on this as well, is an amazing structure. It is independent learning, so you're not a part of a group like you are with the employer project, for example, in the Career Accelerator. It is independent learning, but what most students do is finish the Career Accelerator, obtain their intended career outcome, settle into their new role, and come back for the capstone project, because it can be applied in the workplace. So you can choose a scenario within your new role as a product manager or similar that you can adapt and apply the capstone project to. There's 3 components to the postgraduate certificate. There's the actual application of the project in the workplace. There's a dissertation to take the learnings of what went well and what didn't in an academic sense. And then there's a short presentation that you do in video format regarding that as well. That awards that then level 7 qualification in product management from King's College London, the digital humanities faculty that are globally renowned for their expertise in this area especially. Thank you all. I think the next thing to do is one of 2 things: apply in ensuring you obtain the benefit of that additional value proposition that we've outlined. There is some key takeaways to consider as well, as Sam's just put up on the screen. Obviously, the opportunity for properly skilled product managers is there. If you see your feed being filled with AI product manager courses that have just come out and they've been rushed to market, you're going to be competing against a lot of the same types of people with those, I won't even say qualifications, with those short courses under their belt. This program, with the depth, with the support, and the AI learning track and the like that we've demonstrated, will set you well above them. Strengthen core skill areas in the foundation of great product managers. AI is an important differentiator. Upskill early for benefit and for demonstration for employment outcomes. And the King's Career Accelerator is a structured way in which to build all of those skills and more, especially with the career coaching. It's about taking the next step now. If you can't or haven't spoken with your enrollment advisor, please do so. There's a link in the chat function in which to do so. Apply. We'll get an answer to your application within 24 hours. And I guess the last thing to consider is discussing your options with those around you to ensure that if there are sacrifices to be made over the coming 6 months as you make that transition or accelerate your career, your existing career, that there might be, your partner might not be able to join you on the next Netflix series that's dropping soon or whatever it may be, because you'll be busy studying. It is rigorous, don't get me wrong, but it is accommodating of other people of your working full time, as almost 99% of our learners do. So take the next step. Register also advance in your existing career or changing your career into a joyous career that's most important to enjoy as well. Lastly, Sam in the background puts these events together, and we love what she does, and she does a lot of them. Thank you, Sam. And Justin, always a pleasure to share the screen with you. Your insights are always invaluable for the audience, and I'm sure very, very much appreciated as well.
You're welcome.
Have a great day, everyone. Take the next step in your career, and you've already taken one today, so you should be congratulated on that. We look forward to welcoming, supporting, but most of all, celebrating your success in the Career Accelerator and beyond. Thank you all. Have a great day.